Hey everyone, how's it going? We're doing a quick segment today on my top 3 go-to chatterbait rods in the Expride B lineup from Shimano. We have the 7'2" medium heavy we'll be going through, as well as the medium heavy glass 7'2", and then we're gonna wrap it up with the 7'6" medium heavy. But when I'm selecting a chatterbait rod, depending on the cover I'm fishing, I'm really looking for a couple things. How that rod is going to bring my bait through the cover and free it of any vegetation or hang-ups, as well as castability, and not only distance, but accuracy. So my go-to in the lineup is the 7'2" medium heavy, and I turn to this rod when I'm fishing a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce jackhammer most of the time, but it's always around shallow vegetation and cover. So whether I'm fishing a grass flat with a lot of grass that's coming up high, or I'm skipping docks or laydowns, this is the rod that I turn to. It's the full graphite model, and it has a lot of power, but because it's a full graphite model, it has a lot of accuracy. So when I'm skipping docks, putting my bait around specific cover, this is the go-to rod. When I hook a fish, I know I have a lot of power to turn that fish away from the cover and bring them into the boat. The second rod that I turn to is the 7'2" medium heavy glass. And if you talk to most guys that run the X-Prides, this is more than likely their favorite chatterbait rod, and there's a few reasons for that. It's a phenomenal rod, and it has a composite blank. So when you're loading the rod, it actually bends deeper through the rod and is a lot more moderate. Now, I turn to this rod when I'm fishing a little bit sparser cover. The reality is, this rod does not clear your bait from cover all that well, like that 7'2" medium heavy graphite. But this rod really shines for throwing those smaller baits. I have a mini max on here right now, and it casts this thing a mile, but you do lose a little bit of accuracy because of that composite blank. This rod really shines when the fish are being a little bit finicky, maybe short striking the bait or just nipping at it. It allows the rod to load before you set the hook and really pin those fish. So that's a 7'2" medium heavy glass. And we're gonna wrap it up with the 7'6" medium heavy. Again, this is a full graphite rod, and I really turn to this rod when I'm trying to fish a chatterbait in the place of a deep crankbait. So I usually throw this with a 3/4 ounce jackhammer when I'm targeting offshore structure, outside weed lines. And the length of this rod really allows me to make a long cast, but also gives me a lot of leverage over the fish once I'm hooked up. Full graphite rod, but it's on the more moderate side of a graphite rod, so still loads deep through the blank and has a lot of sensitivity. On all of these rods, I'm running the Shimano Bantam. This is a dynamite reel. It casts a mile and it's super smooth on the retrieve. But those are my 3 chatterbait rods. It's a bait that I turn to quite often. It's super versatile, and I'm sure that either of these rods will be great for you if you're looking for a new chatterbait rod. If you fish with any of these, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite.